Okay, so let's put our hands together to give homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sankhaya. Good morning to all of you on the east side of the world. Good afternoon into the evening to everyone here in the United States. Today we have a very special guest with us, which is Austin, my best friend of 15 years.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Austin is visiting from California. He is recently enrolled into nursing school with, now we got Bailey joining us here at the couch. And, um, last time I've seen Austin in person was 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago.
That's too long.
Quite some time, yes.
So Austin is in nursing school, and it's very refreshing in my life, the life of a monk, to have such a visit. And so today we're going to talk about Austin's visit, what he has been observing side by side with me as we travel with students, what he has seen, and what it means for the road ahead for both of us, as I am scheduled to travel next year very soon. Very soon. And first and foremost, because Austin is now in nursing school with the hope to graduate as an ARNP.
Yes.
Nurse practitioner
is the goal, yes.
I have decided to give Austin the Littman cardiology here, so that he can. This is really badass. This is for cardiologists. You can hear like
every sound.
Yeah. So I used to use this for teachings, just for display. But just like that head alone right there, it's amazing. This is for pediatrics, and you can flip it. Like you'll figure it out, Austin. This is like pretty cool. And the stethoscope means a lot in my line of work, and it means a lot in the medical field, because my job is to detect. You detect heartbeats, and I detect what's going on with people's minds, the ups and downs of people's minds.
Actually, it ties hand in hand in a way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This is very considerate and thoughtful.
And so over the past couple of days, a lot of things have been transpired. In one day with me, as Austin has observed, and those who've been traveling with me, in one day, so many things happen. I just yesterday alone, the amount of human interactions we have.
Yes, yeah, a lot of interactions.
And then now I'm working an attempted murder case, which I'm not at liberty to discuss that yet, but none of my students is involved. So it was just like, oh, we have a lot of fun. We went to yoga. We went to Vandana's yoga class, and then we engaged in with certain humans. And then all of a sudden, at 11 o'clock, get a phone call, and it's, hey, yeah, hey, how you doing? We need to speak to you about an attempted murder case. And I was like, oh, look at that, Austin. Life of a monk.
Always something.
And then we went to eat, and then all of a sudden, I brought in another student to speak to another student, and you got to observe. Mm-hmm. So Austin is blessed with many gifts here, and thank God he's in my life, because number one, the amount of assistance that I don't have anymore. I'm literally now a one man that does it by himself with the amount of counseling sessions that I'm doing. When I first started out, I had a lot of help and a lot of financial backings and supporters. And just through time, just people move away, people leave, people are not as committed, just whatever, all the factors. Then, I still had to handle the same caseloads of counseling sessions, suicidal cases, homicidal cases, ideations, PTSD, depression, anxiety, across the whole spectrum of the DSM-5. With especially adolescents, kids, anyone who's under 25, anyone who is 15 years old and above, as you all have witnessed and seen on YouTube, the one-on-one sessions, to get an idea of what it's like to hear my work and how I do work one-on-one with individuals. So, so now that I'm a one man that kind of does everything, and there's people I meet across, like Vanna was like, oh, I can't believe that you came, and I told her, like, you realize, notwithstanding your birthday, it doesn't matter if your birthday is not, I would still have came. Mm-hmm. And she texted me at like 11 o'clock at night, and how quickly I texted back. And on like Instagram is mostly where the direct messages occur. Everyone who sends me a message on Instagram usually get a 98% reply within one day.
That's right.
And I used to have assistants that help me and remind me, like, hey, you have a podcast with this. So I'm really glad that all the podcasts got out of the way in the first 3 years of my monkhood, of my monk life. And then slowly you all see it started to cut down. And it kind of worked out, because if I had that many amount of podcast requests, I don't think I could handle it.
I'd imagine it would be a lot.
Yeah. Because you all know I don't have my own podcast. People invite me to be on their podcast, and then there's the existence of the podcast. Because I don't know how to create a podcast, nor do I have time nowadays. I wanted to capture right now in this moment on live across all of the social media, that I'm grateful for Austin to be here, not visiting me, but today it was one of those days where I needed to vent. I don't vent to anybody, actually, besides you.
Well, I'm grateful to be here, and I really like it when you open up and vent.
Austin, it's funny because we're best friends for like 15 years, so I always mess with him when he walks in the door. And he walks in the door, he has no idea what's happening. I always give him like certain looks, like really weird looks, so that it freaks him out. And I'm like,
breaks the ice.
I'm just kidding, I'm fine. Then Austin comes and sit and give him a cup of tea, and then all of a sudden I just spill it all out. And then he was very attentive. And today Austin served as an informal supervisory therapist. Anyone who's in the psychotherapy field knows that when you have difficulty in cases, you consult with a supervisory therapist. Now, I actually have actual LMHCs and LCSWs that I speak to, but I felt that when I'm using their time needs to be compensated. And due to the critical low fundings, I have decided to see if I can handle certain things on my own. Christina being one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've decided not to
pursue
bug her about it, or bug Darren about it, or other people in supervisory positions. And so when Austin is with me and meeting with my students, Austin has the unique, specific ability to read people, their emotions, their intentions, their volitions, their motives. He's able to pick up things that in the moment I'm not. One could say Austin is very much like an FBI agent without being an FBI agent. You know what I mean? He's very socially intelligent, very emotionally intelligent. It's something that along the way I learned about him. And it's what makes our journeys so comical and funny, because when we're talking about stuff before becoming a monk, we had friends, and we did gossip a little bit, right? I mean, boys will be
boys. Like a whole nother language of communicating, pretty much.
And we would have insights about what's going on in our group and what's happening. And just the way how Austin describes certain things, it just cracks me up. And it is exactly what contributed to my longevity and my youthfulness. Because had it not been for someone like Austin, I would be 163 years old. Yes, both internal biologically and external aesthetically. So some people are coming to your life and they just make your life better. They either serve as the good friend, the wise friend. He's everything that I could ask for in a friend. The Kalyanamitta is what the Buddha advises. And the table is also reversed. When he needs me, I'm always picking up the phone. And no matter how far we are apart, every time we pick up the phone, it seems like you're right here in St. Pete with me.
Yeah, and we can go a while without talking, and then as soon as we connect, it's like just pick back up where we left off.
And feel that sense of connectedness.
Yes, I agree.
In today's talk, I also want to emphasize the importance of connectedness and the as an antidote to loneliness. Now, people think that monks don't get lonely. Well, let's talk about this monk. I can't speak for other monks, and I should not generalize other monks. But there are times where I do struggle because I'm dealing with the masses of suffering of people, and I'm putting them before me. And sometimes, due to the actual self neglect, I'm just like, there are days where I walk to the park and the pond, the lake, and I'm like, Austin, I wish you were here. And then there's times where I call you and you don't pick up, and I'm just like, damn it, I wish you were here.
Mm.
And those are times where I need consultations with my best friend. I need certain what is it that I am not seeing here? What is it that you know what I mean?
Mm.
And quite frankly, admittedly, folks, I've tried to hold my ground as much as I could because I'm in this position of a teacher and I'm in this position of that. And yeah, sometimes I'm like, no, you got it. You got so many years behind you. You got education, experience, blah blah blah, training, da da da. But sometimes I don't got it like that. Sometimes I do fall off the wagon, fall right off the wagon on my butt, holding my phone, calling Austin. That's truth be told because that gives men permission to reach out for help. Yeah, even the monk with million of followers also fall off the wagon. I'm human just like everybody else. The power and benefits of talking to someone about your problems, existing problems, past problems, and the potential and likely chance for foreseeable future problems. We call that anxiety. It helps. It helps. Um, it's weird, right? Because sometimes friends can make things worse, or friends can make things better. It depends on the lawyer in your head and how qualified your friend is to give such advice. And again, it goes back to it depends. I have been fortunate to have received wise counsel from Austin today and the days of yesterdays. So again, don't the problem with loneliness and how people are just literally dying of loneliness nowadays. So if they don't reach out for help, they don't reach out to their loved one, close ones, they think they can handle it on their own. You can't handle it on your own. You need to pick up the phone. We've made it so easy for all of us to be connected. Technology used in the right way can be very therapeutic, instant assistance right away. Um, so I've the amount of students have also slowly decreased because due to funding again. So I have decided to smaller the pool, but more quality attention. As a result of that quality attention, I've gotten too close. That meant that attachment is involved, meaning I care too much to the point where I'm neglecting parts of myself. Just because certain students, you see their qualities, capabilities, and the good investment of our future, the future leaders of America. And there were things that Austin spotted in the use of language that the student was at when I am not sitting there, and how they're behaving amongst other of their peers in the presence of Austin, who doesn't let them know that he is observing them. And when I'm presenting such clinical case to Austin, he's telling me, "Did you know that when you walked away, these were the things that transpired?" And I thought that this was very insightful for you to make your following decisions and recommendations for these wonderful pupils. And it was liberating insight to have. Again, when you guys are talking, I'm the student. And again, yes, he is my best friend, but when he's giving me these things in my head, I switch mode. I'm now the training therapist and he's now the supervising therapist. And so therefore, that's why I will never say, yeah, I know it all. Even if I have two PhDs, I don't know it all, can't know it all. And that's why they set up the system in psychotherapy that they do. That if you are stuck with certain psychotherapy sessions, whatever it is you can't figure it out, well, we're dealing with the human mind. We know how deep the ocean is, but just exactly how deep is the mind? You don't know. So of course the therapist is going to be stuck with certain complexities, especially in the life of the adolescent. An adolescent is defined anyone who's under 25. And the age group right now is 18 to 24 that I'm serving. Um, so also, why don't you tell them, and you don't divulge too much information about the outcome of the students and what they have reported when we were sitting and eating, and what how they came to be, how they met me, how they went through the program, and how their life is at right now, whether it's stable, where they're self-sufficient. If you want to let them know, just because I've never opened up my lives. Usually I'm the one who's reporting it, and then now they have to take it for what it is, and now they get to hear someone else who traveled with me, and through the pictures that's going to be following, and through some of the videos that I'll be posting, they can get some insight of what you have observed.
Yeah. Well, from what I've observed with knowing you over the years, and also being on the end of receiving a similar insight from you, it's very necessary. And what I've been noticing with current students or pupils that are under your care and everything is that even though that they're in such a deep state right now, whether it's something going on financially, economically, mentally, you always know how to hone in on exactly what area needs to be taken care of, what area needs watering to flourish and grow. So I would say that uh, you hit the exact spot which people are suppressing and that need attention, that they're essentially repressing. So it's definitely very useful, whether they reflect on it or not, which I believe you hit the areas where people need the most. So I think that you're doing a great job with that. So um, it's coming from myself and then observing what you're doing with others, it's I think very beneficial. And whether one acts on it or reflects on it in the time, it will come back to them at a different time. And very, very good insight and teaching to the students and even myself as a friend. So
The one thing that I have identified, as we have a lot of mixed kids, mixed students of mixed race, I call them party mix, and they always get a kick out of that when they're mixed with this race and that race together. The one thing with mixed races, they have quite of a superior in intelligence,
mixed race.
but because of that intelligence, it doesn't really serve them the right way. It really steers them. It really does. It just steers them. I don't know. It's just with the one case is that because the student is in the identity formation stage, according to Erik Erikson's um, self-development, identity development theory, is that you remember us being 20 years old, figuring out who we are, what we want to do, like who are we, like how do we get here, where do we want to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the student was, he was trying to figure himself out, and at the same time trying to hide another life from me that he's been living.
Right.
And that's what Austin picked up, was this other life, low key, kind of like swept underneath the rug. The student was operating on two different modes, and I sometimes choose not to see the other side.
Right.
Because if I start to target specific and pull it out and make it visible, they feel exposed. And I don't need to be like their dad because their parents are probably that way, always all up in their business. And sometimes as a teacher, I'm supposed to just kind of look a blind eye and look at what's dangerous and what's important. And if that's their like style, and if it can be overlooked, and if there's no dangers in that, then just look the other way for now and focus on what's
You
at
give them
hand.
the foundation, and then how they reflect and react on that is on their term, essentially.
Right. It's going to be in the next book about Buddhist psychotherapy, but it poses such a big challenge for millennials like me or any therapist that is working with them, is because they can elude us.
Mm-hmm.
They can elude us so easily. And we literally, the constant supervision, the direct supervision, is that you have to pick up little small cues and clues in the language, the nature and tone, the way how they text, who they're texting, how many times they are on their phone. I mean, just it. Literally today, I aged 153 years internally, biologically,
Hmm.
to the point where I shut down until you arrived. And when you arrived, you were like Christmas morning walking into that door. Because
Snap you out of
yeah,
snap you
because
out
of it's like, it's not the kind of attachment that you guys would think, but I was just sitting on, it's like a clinical case that I'm sitting on. And it was just like, oh man, it's like dealing with like a super infection,
Mm.
pretty much of the mind. And I'm just trying to untangle the tangle, unraveling things, just trying to like undo the hairball, kind of like Bailey here. It's just like if she had a knot on her fur, and we're just trying to like undo the knot, like literally one strand at a time. Bailey's just very nice. Can you guys see Bailey? Like her, she's been up and down here, but literally it's like me taking tweezers and trying to go into their mind and just trying to like take one strand out, kind of like a neurosurgeon
Mm.
trying to repair the smallest vessel.
Yeah.
So, when I'm in, like you said, when we were out there, the perspective is so different than being in here. When we're in here, we feel confined, closed, full concentration and attention. And when we're out there, it's like nirvana. As soon as we step out,
Euphoric, yeah.
yeah, in the lake, and we sit there and we're watching the city unfold, and we're like, what's happening? So there are days where I'm sit here and I just want to pull all of my hair out of my head, hair that I don't have, hair that I have like 1 centimeter of, and I'm just like, what truly is happening? So anyways, tell them about the guided meditation yesterday that was on live. So everyone's seen it, right? Where of which I set up the thingy and then I turned around with a microphone and I gave these folks one of the best guided meditation, in my opinion. I can't really flex and say, yeah, I gave the best one in the world, but I've never switched modes like that because, Stephen was to my left, you were to my right. You both are not experienced long-term meditators. And I'm like, how do I seize this moment and have you seize the moment with me to experience the ocean in front of us? And what you said and what you're continuing to say even surprises me. And so it's funny, right, folks? So he's my best friend. He's supposed to be meditating, but he doesn't. And I have assistants who are not students. I have all sorts of mix of people. So I don't know who's meditating, who's not. Nor do I really care. I teach the way, you follow it. You follow it. If you don't, oh well. You know it. That's your stress to bear. So Austin tried it yesterday for the first time.
In that type of setting, first time, yes. Yeah.
So go ahead, unleash.
First of all, should be mandated anytime, anywhere, because it was game changing. This time that I did it, I'm going through a lot of things even now to this point, so it was very necessary. And I found out it was very, very necessary after I did it. But when we yesterday we went and did this meditation session hosted by the Venerable, and he, instead of just sitting in silence, was guiding it with obviously different innuendos and things to focus on. So it really allowed one to sit there, just not focus on any other thoughts or sentiments. So and given the scenery, so it's something that I've personally decided I'm going to try to incorporate a couple times a week, because I feel like it's very therapeutic. It's regenerative. Um, it just helps your mental state, your health, everything. Just being in touch with the mind, and then through little teachings and principles and um, aid from the Venerable, it was amazing experience, and I'm planning on taking that with me, where I am, what I'm doing, and just essentially unplugging from everything and refreshing myself and using these, whether it's guided meditation or something involving really focusing on the mind, the state of mind, feeling or not feeling, and just I'm definitely going to incorporate it. And I would really say, if you don't know much about it, know more about it. Learn through the Venerable online. It was amazing. So I'm going to keep up with that. So thank you again for that.
The one thing I really do enjoy, and you know what, when I'm doing it, most of the time I'm doing it for me and I'm not realizing people are around, because it's just so structured, and it takes a hold of their mind right away. I don't give the mind a chance to jump in that moment. This is such a pristine, precious moment where, and you know, I noticed that the way how I teach is now is eclectic mode, which is I'm using all different techniques in one setting in less than 20 minutes.
Right.
And I'm constantly reminding people, take a deep breath, take 2 deep breaths, and then your mind has no choice but to listen to me and do it. It doesn't, I don't give your mind a chance to object. So therefore, you're just like, you know, when people are like slumped over, I'm like, back straight, shoulders relax, relax all the muscles in your face. Take 3 deep breaths, and the collective energy with 3 of us being there, you're just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And then you sit there. And did you tell them about the cellular changes?
Oh, I mean, forget faceless, forget therapists, forget anything. Meditate. I mean, you can feel literally like this cool sensation come over your body. You feel light as a feather. Nothing is bothering you because you're focusing in the moment. Um, I mean, the sensation that you get from it is better than anything. So, if you haven't done it, I recommend like actually participating in it, so you can really feel the benefits of what it does. But it was amazing the way it feels. It's very euphoric.
Out of all of the thousands of people that I have taught to, you are the only one. I mean, out of all people, right? It so happens to be the Venerable's best friend that reports that experience.
I think you could sense how like moved and like amazed I was from that experience.
Yeah, because it is. I'm trained to hear what people are reporting back to me. And you're the only one out of the gazillion of people that notices that type of the same change that I notice when I'm out on the beach. I mean, you remember seeing me on live? I'm at the beach often, and I'm telling Austin, when I'm out there and I'm focusing on the waves, and all I do is just activate these things. I just sit there to myself, and I'm just literally honing into the waves. I sit there about 30 minutes, and I wake up, and I'm like, whoa! And literally, as I walk to my car, you can feel literally that you just like unaged yourself. Literally, it was like the ocean of fountain of youth, just like how you described.
It truly is.
But the fact that you can feel that, little, I mean, hopefully you know that you have certain senses that other people don't have or are not in tune with. The fact that you just honed in on every changes in your, from face, everything, this what I call the cellular changes, that you can actually feel repairing, rejuvenating everything. The fact that you feel good. That's why I said look good and feel good.
Right.
For that reason. And people are like, oh, Venerable, do you use skincare? No, I can't afford it and I don't need it. You know, what is my skincare? The sun and meditation, which is when the sun is setting, I meditate. And all of these cellular changes in the body, just look at the health benefits. Just Google it. Benefits of meditation.
You can feel the inflammation leaving your body. I mean, I'm recovering from a surgery right now too, and I can actually firsthand say, since I'm healing, that I can feel like meditation actually doing an effect on healing from my surgery and everything. So I mean, it's no comparison to anything else.
I have lived. It's just that one report from you, I can retire happily. Because let's say you only need to change one life, and if you can change one life, it was well worth it.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Well, that's very prolific.
That I've wasted my breath on people, like go meditate, go do that. I left you instructions, just follow the instructions, just turn on the darn thing and just hone into my sound of voice. And everybody else, like, I don't know. I think they're just like, no, Netflix is better.
Forget Starbucks, forget Netflix.
And people don't really.
It's the best gift you can actually do for yourself. I'm not even trying to promote meditation. I'm just giving my feedback. But I am kind of promoting it because it is fantastic.
Well, it works.
It does work. It really works.
It's been around for 2,566 years ago.
Which I should have started then as
well. But you've been with the temple to me. What am I saying? I can't even spell English. You have been to the temple with me in the past, where I volunteered.
Yeah,
for the longest time. And for people who don't know, I've volunteered at the temple for like 10 years before becoming a monk. So all of those times when Austin came with Kay and T and Aja, remember Aja, the other Austin?
What happened to?
Oh, she done disappeared. She's probably CIA disappeared by now.
Wow.
But do you remember that when it came to like when the monks were chanting, I would like, come on, let's go. Every time they chant, I would be like, come on, let's go. Because, again, we're volunteering, giving back to the community, giving more, taking less. I'm already having cellular changes as I'm there. Then it like heightens all of that up when you guys are there with me. And then, of course, when the monks are chanting, it's just like the cherry on top of the cake. But that was, even though I couldn't meditate because I was having to run the activities at the monastery, the activity coordination, I hone in the present moment when they're chanting, but yeah, these things have been around forever. And don't you regret all this time?
Meditation is such a sound way. I mean, even after that experience, like it really hones you in on your senses. Like when even if you're not meditating, you find little ways of incorporating it, even if you take a deep breath in and out and really focus on it, or whether you're breathing. After I did that, there's so many different aspects that you start to focus on that you would subliminally just mute out, and then once you do that, it really, I don't know, it changes everything.
This actually enhances our relationship, and it enhances future conversations when you're going to be at a stressful state of mind. You're walking into ARNP. You are now frontline practitioner in the medical field. You can do simple surgeries. You can prescribe. Some states allow you to prescribe control meds. Some states don't. I mean, you're dealing with direct, immediate, urgent physical and mental suffering.
That's right.
And I was going to open up a class for working professionals to meditate, because you got to let the purpose of it, later when you dive deep into it, why do we meditate? Not only to really let go, but to let go of negative acquired emotions in the job, and let go of negative acquired bad habits in the job. Because along the way, you're going to pick up all sorts of mean, nasty people who are arguing with you, people who think that they graduated WebMD. They think they have a PhD, University of YouTube, when they in fact don't. And then you have to be like, ma'am, Karen, sit down, Karen. Karen, do you not see Austin Zille?
I am here to help you.
ARNP dash.
I went through all of this schooling for you.
dash C. Do you know what the C means? You know,
Care. That's what it means. No,
And,
I'm just kidding, but not really.
it means that you are certified in your specialty.
Mm.
It means, you know, board certifications and the extensive training that you have received.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you're gonna pick up all these clinical cases that I have seen, that I have sat there, and I'm just like, you realize this is a Ivy League graduate, right? You know, it's only 7 in the United States. But anyways, I just want you to just remember the experience that you have and further your practice and just further, you know, out of everything. And you're going to be prescribing people meditation too, by the way.
Oh, well, definitely. Yes.
The new thing, and they wrote articles on this because other practitioners are like, what? Do I have to keep it all clinical? No, you can prescribe them going to the park, because going to the park fights depression.
Right.
So they, you know, practitioners, frontline practitioners have started to look at, you know, outside of the box recommendations to treat a person holistically,
Right.
all, you know, from head to toe, and get up, get out, stop sitting on the couch like we are.
On that note, I will be right back. I'm going to run to the restroom. I will
Go.
be right back.
Got it. Yeah, this is a very much necessary, needed talk, just because, you know, my agenda is moving rapidly, my agenda is changing, and I figured I should update everyone what is happening. And overall, I really need to return back to my own practice very soon. Um, just it's done a number on me. The fact that barely having any assistance from other therapists, it's just, you know, it's just that time of the year. And I give kudos to therapists who's been doing it for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, because, you know, I'm on my 7th year and I'm burnt out. What you're seeing here is the intermittent middle stage of burnt out monk serving the masses of suffering. And so, yeah, I do need to take a step back, and that's what's going to happen next year. I'm going to take a step back and go back to the blueprint as to how we're going to proceed on forward. And that's why I'm training monastics, and it's also been a very exhausting year, but making a lot of progress training monastics to do what I'm doing. So I realized that one day I'm going to get burnt out, and I need to take care of myself, or else I wind up back in the ER like 2018, 19, and 20. Um, Heck, I may be just Austin's patient. You know, so I'm going to show up to his practice one day and be like, do you think I could possibly get a free IV of
The
saline?
benefits of having connections.
Do you think I can possibly get some saline with Influvite?
Saline drip.
Right. Yeah, I just foresee that coming. And I get a lot of, and you know what? Part of our talk today was I said, Austin, over the past 5 years, so I've been a monk 7 years, going on 8. Next year will be 8. With the first 2 years was not public uniform display, or you just, the world just didn't know I existed. And in the past 5 years, the world know that I existed and started practicing. And I told Austin, I said, that, you know, you watched all of this unfold. Like every month or every other month, we tend to talk, and I got so much joy out of serving the people for all of this time. But Austin, I think that I need to take a break quite fairly soon. And when I first started out, Austin, I actually, right there on the floor, I was doing a one-on-one session and my body just gave up. I literally like passed out while they were still talking on the phone. And it was one of like 1,000 that it happened. And I apologized to the student. I'm like, I think I made up a story. I think I was like, yeah, I think we lost connection or something. But in truth and reality, I like literally passed out. And I realized I needed to take a step back. And I took like a couple, like 2 months to look at the blueprint of how I'm serving people. Um, and I don't think I'll ever perfect that blueprint, just because the suffering never stops. How many monks out there do the kind of work I do? how many temples and monasteries have these type of programs? They don't. It just takes the eyeballs necessary.
And that's human, though. I mean, take the time to really make sure that your mental health is perfect and everything before doing anything. So that's, I think if you need to do that, it's very necessary for you to benefit you and others.
Yeah. And you know, it's bittersweet. Like I mean, as you observe my life, you know, like online, you see a lot of joy, happiness, but then sorrow follows there afterwards. And even during the holidays too, it just goes like this all the time
in waves.
So before Christmas, everyone knew that I ran to the mall. I ran to the mall and I gave a CBT book to a student that I felt was most in need because of things that was going at home. So the only monk that would run to the mall with a CBT book and give to the student. And then as I was there, I said, I need to make a video saying that I'm out of books because I actually had to take Steven's book to give to the student. And then I didn't even have a book to write my book, right? And I went online and I pinned in front of 43,000 people on Instagram. I pinned a video saying that, look, I've been out of CBT books. I need you all to send me more. Please send me more. So in a way, I kind of did break a precept, and I'm just gonna admit to that because I can't ask for anything but water. But I was so desperate to ask for these books, and and you know what? Something told me, no one's gonna send you those books because you know I wait all day for people to fail. The burden's not on me anymore. The burden's on the people. I've been serving for so long with my own money. I mean, there are times I don't even have money to like pay my own copay. And so, you know, for long behold, I took my own money and I said, watch. I told myself I had a bet with myself. The lonely life of a monk. And I said, go on Thrift Books, see how many copies they got, and just order it because you know, as you make these videos, assistance will never come. It never came. So on Christmas Day, I went on Thrift Books and I ordered this. What you do us a favor, and there's a little small tiny hole here. You can just rip that and show people. I need to. Oh, there's a hole here too. You can want to rip that and you see the conditions. These are used CBT books, not even new. Can't afford it. I just want to check the conditions of it. These are good conditions. Yeah, no writings in it. More. Yeah. They were $6. They were $6. I'm thinking in my head, people rather just eat McDonald's than a life-saving book. One book saved one life. Or it could probably save more after they're done with it. They give it to the next, to the next, to the next. Because one book can save 10 lives. 43,000 people. And I published it across every single social media platform. Not one book came to my dad's office.
Really?
Guess who's retiring soon, folks? And mind you, it wasn't the first time that I'm sitting there touting and taunting and CBT saves lives, and so is every other research on Google have done that. You all have to give me some slack. The Venerable sometimes has some leeway to vent, just because you see my frustration, you see the disappointment in his face. There's 1.3 million. I don't even know why they follow. I don't even know.
That puts everything into perspective. You said it's $6.
The price right there. So the original price is how much? You tell them.
What is that? I can't see that well.
$23.99.
$23.99 down to $6. That puts money into perspective, huh?
Into $6. $6.
Stuffing your face with McDonald's or changing your life.
And then people are like, well, Venerable, how are you so happy? How are you this? Because I dedicated my whole life and my whole life savings to these things and give them to people. And it changes lives. And I sleep well. And if I die tomorrow, Austin, I've told people this, I'd be the first month dead in the coffin like this. Have you seen a dead guy like this in the coffin?
I have not, but that would be
and you
makes sense.
and you will live to tell about it. You sit there with a microphone and you said, do you all understand why we made him a saint and why he is smiling in that coffin right now, even though he's deader than a doorknob? Because this whole life was dedicated to CBT and meditation and you joining together. And these folks behind you are living proof students that he led in his years of service, that he changed. Yeah, he couldn't change the world, folks. But the lives that's in this room right here present today's funeral, he did it. One man, he did it. And for that, we think we should, whatever, put my picture on the wall or somewhere. I don't really care. I don't even care for the fame. Who does it for the fame? I damn don't. Then, with the little couple bucks that I had left, I bought, because I was facing challenges, and I'm telling you all the challenges that I'm facing, the Adolescent Psychotherapy, a treatment planner. I'm going to age another 50 years reading this. Therapeutic interventions, short-term objectives, participate in family therapy sessions that identify and resolve conflicts between family members. Parents reduce their attempts to control the client. Control.
That's something that resonates with a lot of us.
Explore cognitive messages that mediate the anxiety response and retrain the client in adaptive cognition. Adaptive cognition. I just aged another 10 years.
Paranoid ideations.
So this was originally $59, and I think this edition is like pretty much outdated, so it went back to $6 again. I couldn't be so happy looking online.
Here's another 10 years.
Oh Lord. Oof. Ooh, all the pages you turn to that one. And this is the adult psychotherapy treatment planner. And every day I'm trying to become a better practitioner. And I'm gonna have to sit there. And folks, I'm 35, but really, if you can jump in my mind right now, I feel like I'm 65, opening these books all over again. And you know what my teacher told me, Venerable Dukman, the Theravada Dukman, not the other Dukman. He told me, he said, he was very honest to me. He says he's 50, like 55, or no, he's 50. He tells me, he goes, you know, I'm done studying. I'm done with book work. But just the way he said it in the car, I realized that he's done, as in spiritually, the man is like 120 years old. When you're 120 years old, you can't open one of these anymore, just because you have exhausted all of your neurons.
Maxed out his capacity for
like his
absorbing more of that information.
Like his bandwidth, like is. And I had so much compassion for him, and I'm like, yeah, but yeah, that's why you're the teacher, and that's why you've mastered everything. And you know, just the sacrifices that monks, their sacrifices alone is so noble for that reason. The fact that the amount of the word, y'all not gonna believe it until I publish all of my handwritten notes. There are volumes of handwritten notes on these things right here. Literally, now they become the book of the how. Like, I don't even have to write a book. I just gather them together and just submit it. And then the publisher are like, oh, great, we'll just put this in order. We'll classify them, table of contents, and then off it goes. And this is the Venerable. This is how he teaches. Anyone who wants to be just like him, and the effectiveness of his teachings, the effectiveness of his guidance, lies in his own handwritten notes that he took when he was 20 years old. If I die tomorrow, go to my black box, the external hard drive. It's scanned, and there are a few left that is at my dad's office. I mean, I think they're all scanned. It's just some of them are still in hard copies of handwritten notes.
I remember seeing that you have so many.
I share them with you.
Exorbitant amount of.
And I love it. Yeah, I tell my students, I'm like, you do the work, you suffer when you're young, and then when you're older, you can really fully enjoy life and now help people. The fact of the just like the intrinsic, even though I went through hell with my students this week, the fact of your personal report, empirical report of what meditation did for you, notwithstanding that you're my best friend, but just as a human, just as this thing with two eyeballs.
No bias, no thought, just raw feeling about it. Yeah.
Like when you leave, I'm going to go in that room and realize, oh my God, out of all the people I inspired my best friend after 15 years. Like, why did it take this long? But it's okay.
Not the first time, but yes, this was another statement piece here.
You know, it's just like, wow. And then I'm like, well, when we talk on the phone, when he's back in Cali and we're on the phone, I'm going to ask you if you meditated, and you're going to say whatever. And then we're going to further that practice. And then later on, you're going to inspire everyone in your school, in your clinical practice. You know,
I'm sure there'll be a lot of figures that will need some of that as well in their life that I will come across in the nursing medical field.
Yeah.
Well, point is, some people have tea together, go to the movies together, but if you meditate together, I recommend that to anyone who's listening. Practice meditation, do it with someone who you're very intimate and close with. That's a very, very good. It's good for bonding. It's good for mental health. It's good for mental health in the relationship. So
yesterday, because the camera, we did face the camera. What was happening, Austin, literally in those moments I was holding the microphone and guiding you all, in my mind, I was like, I'm carrying these folks with me to nirvana right now. No, that was my actual intent. And every details in the guided meditation was, guess what, folks? Well, I didn't tell you all what we were doing and how we were doing it. But my intent was, well, guess what? You're going to glimpse nirvana now. And that's literally, you caught it. Stephen, his report afterwards was not because he's dealing with heavier stuff that's going on in his life. So therefore, there's defilements and obstructions consistent with our teachings and identifications. But you guys will see the GoPros. I'm like, what did you just say? Like when you first told me, and I was like, what did you just say? I'm like, oh, beep, say it again. So the GoPro was like all up on his face. I wanted to capture that moment of the aha moment, and but just for just a second, a moment that you were at peace. That in fact, factual basis, that was nirvana. And it's no wonder, when you're in Cali and you turn on your thingy, and sometimes people are looking at me and they're like, what on earth is he thinking as he's sitting right now over there? And no, Bailey,
I believe meditation can truly enhance or alleviate anything you're going through after that situation. Change your mindset, enhance your mindset, everything. It can neutralize everything.
So there was this one time where I laid on the beach, and just the view I didn't even realize how good the view was behind me. I just wanted there, but what people don't know,
the view is up here.
Yeah, but what people don't know is like sometimes when I lay down like that, it was because I'm really shutting down. Like they don't know that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a lying down meditation, and I actually pass out after that due to the exhaustion of my work.
Right.
But the one time that I did it, I think they all were just enjoying the view behind me and a monk laying down, and I think they just feel like, oh my God, he has reached enlightenment. when I opened my eyes just to glimpse the TikTok thing, it was 800 people watching me on TikTok. Of pure silence. I didn't even nothing but just waves and what appears to be a dead monk on the ground. But they were all just like, I think they were like meditating with me. I mean, just through vision alone, they were in the present moment and just absorbing it and just seeing. Oh, we wish we were there. I don't know, just the self-talk that they probably had. So
next time you see one, participate in it. Don't just watch it.
I mean, I have exhausted my words and adjectives. I just about touting it and marketing it and advertising it. It's just like I have to sit there all day. I mean, you get tired as a monk after a while. You know, like meditation works. It's great. It makes me. I just like people won't get it until they actually practice it.
Right.
So now I just like whatever, dude. Just go and meditate. If you don't, your stress, not mine. I'm near retirement. You can tell. These books here, for those who are just joining on Alexandria on YouTube, is the Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Same book I've been touting for 5 years. Nobody sent, not even one. So I decided to take it upon myself to order it from thrift books, and these are, and it's amazing, right? Because I order them, and then literally like a week will go by, they'll sit there, and then all of a sudden in one day I can just give all of them out.
Very valuable gift.
Yeah, I've lost count how many I've given out. But anyways, and then what is this? This is another one. Here. You're strong. You go to the gym. Probably a workbook. CBC workbook.
One moment.
Yeah, like Arnold.
Wow, they make these very. There we go.
Yeah, they make sure it makes it to your door without being a scratch on the book. You sure you go to the gym?
Yes, I do. But Amazon has enhanced their packing skills here.
Ooh, what's a different edition?
Is it a different one?
Oh, it is a workbook. Quite frankly, folks, if I had time, I'd sit there and do the workbook. Back in my days, I didn't have a workbook. So later on, this is a different edition. This is just a workbook for students that I feel they're not very. They don't. I think that they could get more if they do the workbook. Austin, if I had this workbook back then, it would have. Damn. This is a different edition. This is gonna be the one of the first edition because of those puzzles right there. It's gonna be a rare one. Oh, second edition. They have a second edition. Oh, wow. Well, where's the first one? I'm so out of date. I'm so old. Moving on forward ahead. Next year, I plan to visit Austin and Cali. I need to visit one of my teachers in Cali and Anaheim, and I look forward to meeting with Darren. There's just a long list of, thank God I'm 35. I have this energy to travel and meet. And again, I got to look at ways of improving Buddhism, my program, my school, and you all will see probably a little bit less lives. I just don't know. All I know is I need to just focus on certain priorities on my agenda to further my mission and save lives, and thinking of all sorts of ingenious ways to do it and consistent with the rules for monks. So therefore, it is my continuous encouragement for all of you to continue practicing. And if you fell off the wagon, well, guess what? Get back up on the wagon and don't neglect yourself and don't neglect your peace. There are certain things that I have reserved, not publishing it to the world orally. But there are a lot of insights about what's going on in the US that is not good right now. And for those who, and for those who have children, please lead them into Buddhism for a hope for a better future. My prognosis for the lives of children in the days ahead, that pause right there should say it all to all of you parents. And so when the time is right, I will publish my insight about it. but I think if you review all of the previous talks, you all would know. And if you go on CNN long enough and just look at some of the things that is unfolding across our country, you realize that Buddhism just might be the one thing that unites or protect your children. The teachings of the Buddha can in fact protect you from what's life ahead, life's agenda for you ahead. Um, can you tell me the list of they're all CBT books. They're all cognitive behavioral therapy books. So you just go back to my shorts. Just you're on my YouTube right now. Just go back to my shorts. It's all on the shorts. It's CBT for Dummies by Wilson and Branch. Oh, I think our talk was quite comprehensive. I don't think I need to add anymore. Would have you what can you
I
think
agree.
of?
I believe that's mostly everything.
Oh, it's now 10 o'clock at night, and I think Austin could use another walk out there or a refreshing walk. Um, yeah, this was a very pivotal, important, salient moment with Austin. You know, he's tired because he has to entertain his parents, wonderful parents, and then reserve some of his energy. He has to like really cut up the pie of his day, and then with me, his parents, with me, eating, exercising here. And I just wanted, even though we have good days and gloomy days in our lives, the ever changing nature of our lives, I've decided, I said, also, we got to make these videos because when you're gone, God knows when I'm going to see you again.
Right.
Because things could change here and things could change
and
there.
everything.
Right. And the point of this video is to inspire all of you and to hear real accounts, reports, empirical reports about what Austin has seen with the students and so on. Anything else you want to say about what you've seen with the students? And you were just quite reserved previously.
I mean, just from I know I had so many different thoughts and I was trying to hone them all at once, and my mind was going. But no, everything is positive. I mean, you can from like a third person perspective, watching you with the students, you can literally see how your teachings are like firsthand, like affecting them, and when they give feedback back to you, it shows that their mind is ticking and thinking, and um, it's just like I said, whether they're acting on it in the moment or it comes back in a different moment, it's all beneficial, and it's all good. Everything is very uh, like I said, exactly what area someone is needing, some attention, and it reflects.
So we really appreciate Austin taking his time to do this, and I think he's gonna feel good leaving tonight, knowing that he's inspiring you guys to try out meditation and to really experience what he experienced out
That's
there.
right.
And if you missed it, go to my YouTube and just go back to I think I just labeled it as meditate, just because sometimes when I'm quick in the moment, I'm like, oh, hit live, and just go back and listen to it. I think it would be a treat for all of you to analyze the guided meditation, how I like literally capture their mind. We're going to nirvana. It's just like I'm like the mother and the little kids are running around and they're not getting into my van, and the van is going to lead us to nirvana, and I just like, get your ass over here now.
That was an
Get
interesting
in,
visual.
shut the door. You like that?
Interesting visual.
Yeah, it's just like because
a mother, a van, ducks, and nirvana in a van.
It's just like a bunch of kids running around because I know your life. I know I have prior information about your life and how you think. I have prior information about Stephen. And I'm just like, damn it, all these kids are running around right now. And, Big Brother or the mother here is going to blow the whistle and everyone's going to be like, huh? And like, get your ass in my van. I'm going to shut the door. We're going to nirvana. And basically in that 20 minutes, that's what was unfolding. So if you wanted to see how I did it, folks, go to the YouTube. And it's just, you don't tell me what you think of that guided meditation. That helps me become a better meditator, teacher. So I'd like to conclude this at this time. Thank you all for being wonderful listeners and attentive to today's session. And until the very next time, hopefully we can do at least one more before Austin leaves for California next Wednesday. And he's like super excited to go and start his schooling. So I need that IV. May you all be well. Take care. Okay, I need it.